Slash we're talking about.
Yes.
He's one of the kings of defenders, of stuns, of annoyances. He knows his role. So I kind of feel like giving him a Pokemon such as Suicune is a crime. That should not be happening.
I was going to mention Slash also wearing his champion jumper as well. You know, you just got to flex that off. Maybe just trying to bring that energy from when they ended up winning that to get that jacket. Otherwise, we are heading on into our second pick ban phase. Nouns Esports are still in that first pick position, have decided to lock out Ho-Oh and Latios, and Luminosity are going to stick with that Galarian Rapidash. So I wonder what they're going to knock on out this time.
I think Suicune, because then you've been denying... Okay, no, I think they had to also get rid of the Zacian. Okay, that makes sense. I do feel like you can't really give a Desi the Zacian either, since he plays it so well. So Charizard, again, going to be the first pick here for Toon. Thoughts on Toon's Charizard last game? Like, do you feel like the Charizard pick is really working out for Nouns, or do you think it's something that they're kind of using more for utility rather than late game scaling?
Look, its Unite move is quite incredible. Obviously, being able to get that isolation and that slam down on an opponent, that is just too much of a threat. But just that constant damage, as long as they are supported by their team. It really comes down to that timing of when to actually go and use it and be able to get maximum output from it.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'd like to see Toon on a different Pokemon, but maybe this game he's going to prove me wrong. Suicune, love to see this. It's going to be on Nouns' side this time. And they're also going to get the Lapras. So interesting choice of Pokemon here for Nouns. Luminosity, on the other hand, though, they get themselves that Mewtwo, and they get the Snorlax because that was banned in that previous round. And Blissey and Dodrio are going to be the next two choices here for Luminosity. So Gatlu's going to have to play a different Pokemon if he had the Dodrio in mind. And what Pokemon could that possibly be? Because at the moment, they have a great Pokemon in Charizard with a lot of utility, damage, Blaziken for Gatlu. You know what? I think this could work because you've also denied this from Luminosity. You now have an advantage when it comes to secure. And Blaziken, if snowballing, can dish out a lot of damage as well.
Well, it has to get online first, but Trainer LGC, are you hovering over that Urshifu there? I don't think we've seen Urshifu on the broadcast, and you can see that 1% hit rate. So bringing out this wild card of an all-rounder, you're talking about secures. Urshifu is one of those trusty secures
back in the day. It was like the matchup
as well. I think it is a great answer back to that Blaziken. I'm guessing this is going to be that Wicked Blow over Surging Strikes Urshifu, which we have seen Luminosity play previously, but they do have that Razor Claw, the ESL Bracer, along with that Muscle Band equipped for them.
Yeah, so I wouldn't disagree with the Wicked Blow at all. I kind of feel like that would be a really good move too, because you also have Slash there for the setup. Because you've got Snorlax, assuming that Slash is going to go for block into Wicked Blow is nasty. So we'll have to see if that combo does come out from Luminosity at the end of the day, but really interesting draft so far for Luminosity. Very fast paced because you've got the Dodrio that's going to be running around. You also have the Snorlax that maybe, I kind of wonder here from Slash, do I want to maybe go for a bit of an invade into Nouns' central area? Because Snorlax is so good at stealing those central lane Pokemon.
You look at their build, they do have the X-Speed along with the experience share to go and give them that extra movement speed if they do decide to go in for an invade. But really, when I think about the matches so far, we haven't really seen any invades. But folks, we are heading on into our second game of the quarterfinals, best of 3. This is Nouns Esports' last tournament lifeline here, because Luminosity do have that one-up advantage against them. Well, let's see how this one fares out, Danalee.
Yep, Nouns are going to have to go for a reverse sweep if they want to keep their tournament dreams alive, and Slash getting a little bit too low and actually gets knocked out in that bottom lane, unfortunately, to the Lapras and that Suicune, leaving the Mewtwo all alone. Otto, though, going to be jumped on by Gatlu, but the return is there from Overlord. They do manage to get the heal off, and for the moment, we're going to have a bit of a peace treaty signed between these two Pokemon in that top lane. But down bottom, though, we are seeing a little bit more pressure again being applied by that Suicune. Adesu just sort of coming in and stealing that blue buff, but the Lapras returning, wanting to fight into Slash, who is going to take a little bit of a power 1-up and heal back up. They will leave that though, instead prioritizing experience, which this early on in the game, if you can, grab all the experience in the world. But they're going to go for a wraparound this time onto the Lapras yet again, but Lapras is very tanky. Now, unfortunately, they don't have that finishing move to finish off the Lapras. So again, just a lot of fighting down in that bottom lane, but lots of barking, not a lot of biting.
No, I did say yesterday, no barking, no fighting, only pats so far for these dogs. But otherwise, up in that top half, we do have Overlord looking to dunk in their 10, but they do end up getting denied by that Torchic. I mean, you know, we're talking about close games so far. Obviously, only 2 minutes or so have passed. It's 2-4 currently.
2-4. I think it's just
those stacks.
No stacks. I think it's respect from both teams. Like, they know if they try to go for those stacks, you're putting yourself at such high risk of just giving away some easy knockout experience as well. So the game might seem a little bit slow with none of these certain knockouts. I do believe it might be close to getting one. Nope, unfortunately, looks like Toon was able to get away there from Trainer, but they will steal away that Altario. So very nice big chunk of experience going in favor of Luminosity for now. We are seeing some dunks though. Dodrio finally coming in and increasing the score, but then again, we see some counter scores happening. So the gap not too wide for now, but we may see a bit of a change here because we're seeing the Combuskin being stalked here by that Urshifu. Trainer really wanting to jump on top of them, but again, both teams really struggling to latch onto each other for these chases.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. They don't want to risk too much diving on in without that backup. Gatlu does need that level 7 in order to get that evolution to Blaziken, going in for a reset through that hyperspace hole, but Luminosity have taken what they needed. The experience from those Swablu's and Altaria. 5 seconds left to go until this basement Reggie does spawn. Both of the defenders on either side are taking their position. It's just a matter of who's going to go in for the engage. And I mean, if we look at their shred, Curious does have the shred on the Mewtwo. No backup for Nouns Esports though.
Oh, down bottom, we are having a bit of a skirmish here, and I have to say, I love this pairing coming out from Nouns, this Lapras Suicune fighting combination. They have slows, they have freezes. They are going to have to try and fight for this Regirock, though. It's a defense, but an experience on the line, and it's going to go in favor of Nouns. It looks like they will be trying to go for that pick off there, and they do finally get the Lapras, but then again, it may just be a Lapras. If they can find more, they'll be perfect, but Urshifu getting a little bit too close there and losing quite a bit of health. But, I mean, you get a Lapras, but you gave away the Reggie. So, I mean, it's a small trade, it seems. Up top, though, we did unfortunately lose that Blissey, thanks to Toon, who was able to secure that final hit. And we're still seeing a bit of a skirmish happening up there. Dodrio trying to fight his way through, but there comes the seismic slam. And I think we see some fried chicken here, Kels.
Yes, a fried chicken, fried Reggie Alecki as Nouns Esports successfully take that towards Luminosity's Tier 1 goal. But 3 members are here to defend, considering there's still 52 points on this goal. They don't not want to let any more dunks go on through. Can they successfully defend it? Otter ends up going down, and it looks like Trainer, LGC, and Curious are needing to retreat back to the Flux Zone. That is no longer.
And by the way, Kels, this is actually Surging Strikes. Urshifu, it is not the Wicked Blow. So Trainer, instead of trying to go for the Wicked Blow hits, he's decided he wants to try and fight in this match. And the one thing that the Urshifu with the Surging Strikes is really good at is really piercing through all those shields and being extremely elusive. Because on the side of Nouns, they don't really have a lot of disable aside from the Seismic Slam and the freezes coming out from that Suicune. So Trainer might have a lot of freedom of movement in these fights, and that might cause a lot of problems here for Nouns unless they can catch him with one of their major moves. Toon getting caught there by Luminosity, so he's going to be off the field for 10 seconds, which means that's 10 seconds where Luminosity, they can choose to do whatever they want here. If they want to go for an invade or if they want to try and find some more wild Pokemon. And it looks like they will restrain themselves. They're not going to get too ahead of themselves. Just back up, make that lead, and keep the lead.
Yeah, well, considering it just ticked over that halfway point, Nouns Esports do have those jump pads available. So Luminosity not wanting to commit, instead just playing it safe and looking to go and secure some wild Pokemon. But Nouns Esports, they've gathered the majority of those birds, but Galu's looking at getting caught on out, but they're able to save themselves with some kicks and some punches against those 3 members, and they have been wiped by Toon Slim there. Inda does end up popping their Unite move. As we can see on the minimap, that 2 members from Nouns Esports were able to go and empty out their Aeos energy in that top tier 2 pad. And are looking for the next goal, which is this Reggie steal.
They're going to get it unless someone can try and go for the steal, but it's a Blaziken of all things, so they do get the Reggie steal buff, but they're very, very low, so maybe this is where Luminosity can try and turn things around, but because there's a Hooper on the field, oh, they've actually decided to come on back, and the Blaziken's gone.
Blaziken's gone, but there comes a big freeze from Adesu to get these stuns. We do have LG trying to push back. Adesu knocked them out before going and getting some dunks of their own. Bruv on cooldown isn't able to go and defend that, but even then, with that push, this goal is still quite healthy at 51 out of 80 points. Slash going in for another invade and block, despite Luminosity not being behind them, which means they get punished and sent back to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, and there's going to be no Snorlax as well, so if they really need a frontliner, they do have to wait for their defender to come back, and, well, the heals are there, and Nouns are looking to go for a very big push here, scoring all those points into the goal zone. It's 32 points left here, but here comes Slash, is coming with that heavy slam, managing to catch up to Pokemon in the air, and there's no more Suicune, so no more freezes for Nouns. They're going to keep on chasing their trainer, doing all that he can, but he goes down, but maybe the Mewtwo is able to pull it through for the team. Will go down as Toon is going to go back to base, heal back up, and now he wants Slash as well. He wants that roasted Snorlax, and he's going to get it on that Charizard.
It is so back and forth between these two teams, but as we look at the points board, 216 to 109 with 30 seconds left to go until that Rayquaza. It could still be anybody's match at this point, but I mean, we're looking at these levels. 3 level 13s on the side of Luminosity, but we have that level 14 Charizard on Nouns Esports. So really, it's going to come down to the wire to see if Nouns Esports can take this to a game 3 and a step closer towards securing that semi-final spot, or Luminosity going to be able to do this 2-0 for those fans in the crowd.
There we go. Slash is going to start things off for the team, using that block to sort of force out Nouns from that bush, but we still see the Dodrio trying to find that entry point into the central area. Unfortunately, has been scouted out by Toon, who just throws some fire his way, so losing quite a bit of health. Far forward, though, we have that Lapras trying to chip away at the health here for Luminosity. Oh, the Urshifu not looking too good here. Trainer slowly losing his health. Again, the Snorlax just being an absolute nuisance here. Both teams on the Rayquaza, but who's going to be able to get the final hit here? It's going to be Nouns.
Nouns Esports able to get the takedown on Luminosity and the Rayquaza, and now they are going to push towards these pads, balloon these points, and have a chance at securing a spot in that semi-final. But the thing is, there's still a minute left on the clock. 652 to 109. Luminosity going to be able to push on back. I mean, getting the knockout on Bruv is a great first step towards that.
It is a great first step, and it's quite difficult for Luminosity to be able to pull the comeback because, yes, there's a tier 1 goal zone down bottom, but there's only so many points you can dunk in there. And then after that, you have to try and go a little bit deeper into Nouns territory. And they still have shields, meaning they're also going to have that attack buff from the Rayquaza shield. So if Luminosity can somehow pull a comeback from here, it'll be an absolute miracle. But Nouns, they're going to sacrifice their early tier 2 goal zone potentially. No, they are going to slowly push them away. 25 seconds left to go here for Luminosity, though. They need to score these points somehow, but I think the gap is just too big now, Kels.
There, Luminosity looking for that miracle. Unfortunately, it's not going to go their way. Instead, Nouns Esports are going to get the miracle that they needed to go and take this game win and take it to a game 3. I mean, look, we want to see more action from Nouns Esports and Luminosity, but there we go. Nouns winning that. Nouns fans going wild in the crowd and at home.
But we're not done yet, Kels. We still have one more game to go. And whoever wins this match will continue on through the Pokemon Unite World Championships. And unfortunately for the team that does not take this next victory, they will be joining us in the spectator stands as we find out who's going to be going to the finals tomorrow. It's such a tense moment now for Nouns and Luminosity because they've already shown some cards in their hands. And they're also probably starting to identify, okay, what are the problem Pokemon that we've encountered in these past 2 games. And on the side of Nouns, they already identified that Suicune, too good of a Pokemon. You cannot give that away to Luminosity. Giving away the Snorlax, in this game in particular, I think was a really great idea just because of the fact that Adesu, I feel, really played the Suicune so well in this round, really finding those crucial stuns. And also, I think he kind of trapped some of the Luminosity players, making them think that he was an easy knockdown.